all of Elul is in preparation for all the Yom Noraim, Sukkot and everything, but specifically it's preparing for Rosh Hashanah. And in this halacha that one is supposed to get a haircut right before Rosh Hashanah. Every Rosh Hashanah is supposed to get a haircut. Why? You might remember why? Because we bitachon says it's in halacha. We trust that we're going to come out with a good verdict. So you get a haircut, not out of gaiva, no gaiva. You come to the king like Yosef right before he went to Paro, got a haircut, everything got cleaned up, because Yosef's the Baal Bitachon. We've discussed this many times. And therefore, all of Elul is really an avodah bitachon. Because if we want to have the bitachon on Erev Rosh Hashanah, well, we have to start earlier. And a yesod that I've been speaking about a lot, and Rebbe's been speaking about it for even longer, many, many years, is that we have to look at Elul in a little bit of a different way. You could look at it in the old way if you want. If that's been effective until now, great. Keep going. But if it's been ineffective, thank you. My English teachers are back, thank you. You know how many words I probably said wrong when you were in here? If your Elul has been ineffective, or just your Elul looked just like Av and Elul is the same. So maybe we have to change the way we approach Elul, and maybe we can have a different way to get in. And therefore, the way is bitachon. Because let's put sinning aside for a second. Let's put sins aside. If a person becomes distant from something, from someone, it's done. You lost touch over time. Tshuva would be returning, getting closer to that person. That would be considered a tshuva, no? Returning, tshuva. So if a person the whole year has been relying on himself, he's been relying on his boss, he's been relying on his clients, he's been relying on the climate, he's been relying on the stock market, he's been relying, trusting in other things. And of course, with that comes sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and therefore sometimes it's a lot of pain. Therefore, during the year, a person may have left truly trusting, relying on a Kadosh Baruch Hu, which is a Sugi B'tachon. So one of the greatest ways of tshuva, even higher than working on your sins. If you get this down, you'll be able to work on your sins in a happy way, and no one will have to tell you or force you to do it. You'll want to do it. But if a person could come to truly rely, have bitachon on the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that he is the one who truly runs everything, without any exception, and it's always for the person, for the world's best interests, and it might not be in your narrow, 70-year, 80, 90-year lifespan. It's something much larger than that, right? That's part of our trust, is that I don't know how this is good. I believe it's good. I don't know how, but I believe. And it might be that this thing that's happening now will help my children or my grandchildren. It could be. And things that we get nowadays could be because of my grandmother and my great-grandfather. I don't know. Trust is you don't need reasons, right? Trust is, I trust. And if a person can come back to Kadosh Baruch Hu in that way, that the way he starts thinking more and more during the day, we can't go from 0 to 100, but he starts thinking more during the day, whether it's through his ruchnius and his davening and his learning, whether it's through his work, whether it's through the way he's being mechanech his children, whether it's whatever you're dealing with people. Kadosh Baruch Hu, you are the one. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to do what I think I'm supposed to do. I'm going to try my best. But I believe strongly that it's really you that who affects everything. So you've come back to a Kadosh Baruch Hu in a very, very strong way. That's a very strong way of tshuva, and it's a happy way of tshuva. We don't have to go into sins right now. We'll deal with that stuff. So Sarah's made tshuva for that, don't worry. But Elul is supposed to be building up to the bitachon. So Rosh Hashanah, you could be mamlechim as the king who runs everything. He's the king. And if we don't trust in a Kadosh Baruch Hu, so then what is his kingship? What is it? Right? Isn't one of the definitions of the king that he runs the whole country? And by Kadosh Baruch Hu's kingship, he runs even more than that. He runs even more and more in the depth of every single nakuda. More than we can imagine. That's being Mamlech HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we put HaKadosh Baruch Hu as the one who runs everything, that is Malchus. Right? So it behooves us to really, really dig in deep, as we've been doing, to our bitachon, slowly but surely, every day, taking a little bit of time to think what I'm about to do. Ultimately, the result is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I'm going to detach myself from that result, from that emotional attachment to the result that we've discussed, and we're going to continue now. So we started on page 197. We missed last week. There were different avodas last week. So let's start again from page 197. Now we're in the world, we're towards the end of the fourth parak, and we're discussing reward, punishment. Mostly we're going to discuss reward today. Maybe we'll throw in some punishments, if you're lucky. The right way to see punishments. So discussing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the reward that we get in this world and the next world. And as we discussed 2 weeks ago, I want to discuss more about the reward in this world. So let's just read. We'll get into it. Page 197. Ve'ein roi livtoch al ma'aseyu hatov v'yavtiach nafshu begumul ha'olam hazeh ve'ha'olam haba al ma'aseyu ach yitrach v'yishtadil behoda'a letovas haborei hatemidos olav lo l'sikvas gumul asid she'eschayv lo b'maseh. So we'll just read the translation. Sorry. It is not proper for a person to rely on his good deeds and to assure himself that he will receive a reward for his deeds in this world and the next. Can't trust that because you do mitzvahs, therefore you will get schar. Can't do that. It's not appropriate. Rather, so what should a person do? He should exert himself and make efforts to do good. 100% a person has to try his best. The ikar is the try. Why are you doing this avodah? See, the Chovos Avodas in a very subtle way, and we've discussed this, he changes the entire motivation. We grow up, generally. You do Torah mitzvahs. Why? What? Schar. Right? That's what the teachers teach the children. You're building a brick in the Beis HaMikdash. All true. But that's mostly what we get. And if your avoda is motivated by schar, so your entire avoda becomes a lo lishma. Becomes a lo lishma, and it really becomes selfish. Right? I'm selfish. Everything's about me. I'm serving a Kadosh Baruch Hu, but for me. What's the more appropriate motivation, the more pure motivation? We've discussed it many times. Rather, he should exert himself and make efforts to do good, every mitzvah, all learning as much as you can, as a way of thanking the Creator for the constant kindness that He bestows upon him. I should be wanting to do all the Torah and all the mitzvahs and everything that would make HaKadosh Baruch Hu happy, because I owe Him my life, as we discussed. I'll say it again, and someone already quoted to me on Shabbos, something that we said here, so I see it seeping in. The second you wake up in the morning, we all woke up, Baruch Hashem, we all woke up today, you already owe a Kadosh Baruch Hu 24 hours of vote. You didn't have to wake up today. Who said? Just because yesterday you woke up doesn't mean today. Today's a gift. Kadosh Baruch Hu decides, not me. Because if we decided, then we'd all live forever. But clearly we don't. So it must be, it's a gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the second you wake up, He gave you life. So every waking second, we owe HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And as I've said 2 weeks ago, He doesn't demand that much of us. But we should know that we do owe it to Him. And therefore, whatever we do with kavanah to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, whether it's davening, learning, whether it's just being alive, it should be out of a certain inner motivation of, thank you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right? Thank you, Hashem has become very popular, right? But from a deep place, of Hodah and Hakaras Hatov. I don't want to get into this right now. I mean, maybe I do. We'll see what happens. But right, we've discussed this, but it's very important, the difference between Hodah and Hakaras Hatov. Hodah is thank you. You receive and you say thank you. Very important, very good. Don't stop doing it. It's very good. But there's something deeper than just thank you. Hakaras hatov is the inner recognition. You don't have to say anything, but it's the true inner recognition of the tov that you received. You could not have lived without this. Hodah, thank you, is a byproduct of the hakaras hatov. Now we usually don't do that, or it happens very quick and subconscious. That we just say thank you, and we're trained. Bobby gives you a gift, you say thank you. We're trained to just say words, but we usually, right, which is very superficial. It's etiquette, right? It's proper. That's what you have to say to Bobby. You can't. How could you not thank Bobby for she got you the toy for your birthday? Of course you say thank you, please, and thank you. But it's very superficial. And if we never think deeper about it, then our entire life, our thank yous are very superficial. The mature thank you comes from a place of hakaras hatov, which takes a lot more of a person. It takes an inner recognition. It takes an admitting. See, hod, the word hod, which means thanks, also means to be moded to something is to admit. Right? When you say thank you, the amkus, when you're saying thank you to somebody, you want to get to this place where I could not have done this. I could not have received it without you. Thank you. That's what should be inside, right? Everything is chitzonis and pinimis. Everything has multi-layers. So I'm saying thank you. That's chitzonis. It's just words. What do I mean? What's my kavanah? Where is it coming from? What's it built? What's inside of it? We want it, right? Everything lives like that. Right? A person could daven, you could just say the words. A person could be connected to the words. He can understand what the words mean. Right? There's many layers. This is what we need to live this way, not be superficial people. Anashim chitzonium. It's not bad. It's just not as good as we could be. So when we're saying thank you, we want it to be filled with a hakaras hatov, to be filled with admitting that I needed you. So thank you.
I think that's where Rebbe's tying with the aspect of being Moser Nefesh right now really comes to play, because actions speak louder than words. They speak volumes. So when something comes simple to you, that could potentially be habituated. But and kind of that concept of just saying, okay, like thank you. But when you're in that place of I can't, or that test, or whatever that is, where the person has to say your Moser Nefesh, and you actually have to do something, it's tied into the recognition of I'm doing this because there's no way I could repay that credit card bill from Hashem, or whatever that is that I'm using that as a mushal. But that could be the incredible tie-in of these two concepts.
Yeah. We have to become deeper thinkers. Deeper thinkers, not to be superficial. Superficial life gets boring. Okay, next. Person I was talking to somebody last night about his chadshus. He's like, I don't get excited anymore over, like a Devar Torah like I used to get excited. I said, because you checked off the box. Before you weren't so from, and now you heard all these Devar Torah and it got you all excited because you went from 0 to 1. But you graduated that. Now you need to sit and go slower on it. You need to think. You need to become more deeply involved, invested. Not just quick. That's not good. That doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. You have to become deeper people, rich, full. So when we do our Avodas Hashem, and Avodas Hashem can be expanded to any breathing moment. Any breathing moment can be a Avodas Hashem. Kol neshima v'neshima tahalka. It should be coming from a place of thanks and hakaras hatov for the kindness of the Kadosh Baruch Hu that you're alive, at the very least, and then all the other things that He's given you on top of it. Is that a question? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Pick me.
Okay, you
said that He's not asking a lot, so I respectfully disagree.
I'm saying He's not. Before you, He's not asking as much as we owe Him.
Okay,
which is infinitely less.
Muskin.
Now
He's
you can
asking
continue.
a lot. From the second that you wake up until you go to sleep, and everything in between. There's a big set of volumes over time. It's our whole life. It's all Him. Yes, compared to what He's given us, it's nothing. But to be an Eved Hashem, or attempt to be an Eved Hashem, to be a practicing, conscious Eved Hashem is a lot.
It's a lot as long as once a person truly works in the avoda of hakaras hatov, It's not a lot anymore. Because then you want to. It's a lot when you don't want to and you're forced to. But the world of bitachon we've been working on is where a person comes to trust. A person comes to become a ben, a son of a Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Right.
Then you want. That's what we're trying to get to.
Still,
you want to.
If you want to do it, still allowed. I want to build shtetl.
So what it's a lot? What does that mean? So it's a lot what? A lot usually means, it's burdensome.
No.
So what's a lot?
Time consuming.
That's life. What do you mean? So that's what I don't know. You usually when a person says the words you say, which maybe I'm wrong, there's a lot of Torah, there's a lot of mitzvahs. It's so hard, it's so heavy. That's generally the connotation.
Not so hard.
So then what's a lot? It's a lot. So it's a lot. Okay, so breathing's also a lot. Right? You breathe every second, right? Yeah. So it's a lot. Wow, it's rough.
I don't have to think when I'm breathing.
Chaval. Think once in a while, you'll see it's a much better breath. No? Have you ever do breathing with thinking?
Come on.
What do you mean? Conscious breathing? Chaval. Anyway, let's go back.
That while trying to write a contract or something. It's
breathe before you write the contract. Okay. Well, we could fight this out afterwards. I know where you live. And is the car still parked in the driveway?
Which one?
Remember the one that was pulling out of it? That was always blocking your way on the sidewalk? Remember that? Remember that? That was like sheer like 6.
I remember.
It's like 100 shirim ago.
There's a song called A Long, Long Time Ago.
But we're still in the same sugya, so don't forget. So our avoda has to be that we have to change. We have to really, really get into our motivations. We really have to get into our kavanah. Mama changes everything. You have to do out of a thanks. And before you could do out of thanks, you have to thank. You have to work in the avoda of real hakaras tov, real avodah. Real. Fine, let's keep going. Page 198, or no, 197. But not out of hope. Listen to what he says here. We're going to bring out a steer. Let's start from the period. Rather, he should exert himself and make efforts to do good as a way of thanking the Creator for the constant kindness that he bestows upon him, this person, but not out of hope that he, this Jew, will receive a reward in the future as payment for his good deeds. We should not, it's better not to, we're trying, it's a better life, not to serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu with the hope of getting future payment. Ach yivtach Elokim bo achar hishtadlis lefroa hodas abore al godel tovas olav. Instead, after a person makes efforts to serve God as a way of repaying his obligation to thank the Creator for the great kindness that he bestowed upon him, only then he should trust that God will give him a reward in the world to come. Or I would add, in this world also. Sounds like a big steer, no? What's the steer? Sounds like it. Maybe I'm wrong. He just said a minute ago that we should not serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu out of a hope that he will receive a reward in the future as a payment for his good deeds. Serve, don't think about good deeds at all. Don't think about reward. Serve. Serve out of thanks. Right? Next paragraph. Do your ishtadlus, right? Make efforts to serve God, and then you could trust that Hashem will give you a reward. So we could serve him. It's no expectation of reward, or it is expectation of reward. Did I read it wrong? There's no steer. We have to just understand. Do you hear the potential contradiction? No, you don't hear it? I'll read the line again.
It's the motivation. What's the motivation? The first motivation is saying you're not expecting a reward. The next one is if you do this,
you could expect a reward.
You should expect a reward in world to come. So
what do you mean? Are you allowed to expect a reward? You're not allowed to expect a reward. There's a slight difference.
You're not supposed to expect a
But
reward.
instead, after a person makes efforts to serve God as a way of repaying his obligation to thank the Creator for the great kindness, then he should trust that God will give him a reward to the world to come.
Because he's already connected. It's different.
What do you mean?
Once he's already connected and you have bitachon, then there's a I mean, it depends how you word it out, but there's a promise.
So let's just say it in this way, which is maybe you don't hear it as a steer.
Trust and expectations are not the same thing.
Trust and expectations are not the same thing. At the beginning, the first paragraph.
Hope and trust.
What?
Hope and trust is a different verbiage that they're using.
It's a big difference. Because we also have to work on who we spoke about hope 2 weeks ago. I'll tell you in a minute. When a person does the avoda with hopes that there's going to be a reward, it's coming from a selfish place. Right? I did the work, and therefore, listen, I spent the hours. at the office. There's an expectation. I should get paid for that. Right? Says the Chosos, that's not you can't do that. Because that's not true. Remember, you already owe you're working not for future payment. You're working to pay off what you already received. But if you do the avoda properly, with the right mindset that I'm doing now as a payment to HaKadosh, I'm paying HaKadosh Baruch Hu by doing avoda now, then you're zocha that you can trust that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will pay you. Because what's bitachon? Bitachon is not about me. Bitachon is I trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And part of my trust is that I believe that He's the one who pays everybody for what they deserve, or what HaKadosh Baruch Hu decides that they deserve. It's not selfish anymore. It's selfless. Once I change my motivation of why I'm serving, I can now live totally free, totally happy, with full confidence that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take care of me. But if I serve with a tiny, subtle, different motivation, I serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu because that's what He told me to do, and He'll also pay me for my work. You can't trust. With that motivation, you can't trust that He will take care of you. Because in a slight way, it's coming from selfishness, coming from your own ego. I served, therefore I should get paid. That's not bitachon. That's bitachon atzmi. Might be trusting in yourself, but it's not trusting in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's you're demanding from a Kadosh Baruch Hu as a boss, not trusting in Him as a loving Father King. It's very slight. But everything in the Chovos Vovos, if we've learned properly until now, which we're trying, it's very slight changes. And those slight changes makes all the difference. It takes a lot of time to really think. You could hear it now, what we're saying now, but until you, in the middle of your Monday workday, and you're really thinking about these things, and when you get the general, if you're happy all the time, so good, you're okay. But when you get bothered by something, this is always the trigger. Let's say work, let's say whatever, something else isn't going your way. The second you're bothered by a thing, stop. Why am I bothered? We've discussed this many times, but this is the way in. Because we could talk bitachon from today till tomorrow, and it's all intellectual. That's not the goal. The goal is to get it here. So during the day, something's bothering, something's not going right. You didn't get what you wanted, you didn't get what you expected. It's not going exactly, and now you're starting to feel something inside. That feeling inside is a direct, it's the antithesis of bitachon. Right? What's bitachon? Menuchas hanefesh. Bitachon is defined as menuchas hanefesh. So if you're in a state of menuchas hanefesh, you're good. If you're not, that means there's a problem. And that problem lies somewhere in bitachon. Ask yourself, why am I bothered? Why am I bothered? The answer generally, the general answer most of the time, so you should go here first, is because this thing isn't going the way I wanted it. This thing isn't going the way I expected it to. This thing isn't going the way I desire it to. That's the general answer most of the time. So you should start there. Right? If it's raining outside and you're bothered, stop. Why am I bothered? Who wants to live with bother? Don't we want to live clean, happy lives? Isn't that what all America's about, right? Should live happy lives. So everybody thinks you have to gain from the outside. It has nothing to do with the outside. Nothing to do with the money. It's with the inside. It's my reaction. So it's raining. I'm bothered. Why am I bothered? What's the problem? Because I don't want to get wet. Because I didn't want it to rain today. Simple as that. Do you know that rain could throw you off for the entire day? One dark cloud. It didn't even rain yet. One dark cloud in the distance can throw a person's whole day off, or at least until the rain cloud passes. Why? Well, today he was going to take his whole family out. They've been waiting so long to go to the park. The kids have been killing him. Let's go, let's go. And he's ready to go outside, and then he sees that cloud out in the distance. And then like that fear. Oh no. What happens if it rains? Then my kids are going to be upset. What am I going to do with them today? It's going to go crazy. So you start to feel this like turmoil. Why? Because it's not going the way that you wanted it to go. It's as simple as that sometimes. Again, not always. Again, it's the general answer most of the time. It's not going the way I want it to go. Think about it, and you'll see.
So, if things do end up going your way, after you have the right zachar and the right motivation to go through the whole process that you just said, is that viewed as schar ultimately? So if things do go the way you want, because if that's viewed as schar, then it sort of muddies the whole process.
I don't know if I want to get into this right now. This is a little bit technical. We'll discuss this afterwards.
That's a good one.
What?
That's very good.
You have to really open up the what is schar. Is breathing right now called schar?
Question.
What do you think? A conscious breath, of course, not that. What do you think? What about seeing? Is that called schar? Or is that called? So is a gift schar? I don't know. Was that an answer? I think it's gift. Okay, is a gift schar?
Or is it not?
I don't even want to answer. I want to just ask questions. I like people thinking. Thinking is good.
Let's unpack.
Let's unpack the gift.
If we say that we're saying no to Ami because we already have so many cards to talk for waking up. Right? I'm awake. Thank you for Thank you for keeping me, making me wake up, letting me wake up. I'm opening my eyes. Thank you for letting my eyes see. Because Chas v'Shalom could have happened that I open my eyes and something's wrong. So it's a gift.
Yeah. Keep going. Roll backing.
So everything we discuss. I mean, this is not a chiddush over here. So everything is a gift.
Good.
What is schar then? So schar is something that Kodesh Baruch Hu gives us out of His goodness, kindness, for which we should not have hoped.
We should have what?
Should not have hoped. Should not have hoped. Not expected. Right? We just said that. I'm
Okay. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
mumbling some of your words.
Keep going. Keep going.
I don't know. I want to say
A gift is not a reward.
Did Yosef Atzadik
We spoke a lot about this.
Did Yosef Atzadik receive?
Schar mitzvah b'ha'al maleka.
some it's alright.
I'll say schar.
But then you say you're touching stars.
Well, we gave a lot of shir about it. I'm going to have to send you a few of them.
Yosef Atzadik received schar. That's how I remember learning it, and I could have learned it the wrong way. His adornments that he received were schar for all the different things that he did.
Is seeing and breathing, is it considered a schar? So you're saying it's a gift. Everybody agrees it's a gift, yes?
Yes.
That we agree. It's a gift. Says that's schar, that's not schar. What does schar mean?
That's why I asked that example.
So how would you
It's a reward for doing
Reward.
something else. For doing something
or a
else.
payment.
Okay.
Schar, schirus. It's a payment. So what do you think?
That it's not.
It's not?
That breathing is not
Well,
a,
Al korcha chai.
It's not a payment?
it's a matana. It's not a schema.
So then, if every moment of life is a matana, how do you ever get schar for anything?
Right.
So there's no schar.
No, there is.
There is.
Why, I just asked you the example. Why aren't you answering my question?
You bring in Yosef and Tzaddik with all this fancy. I just want to know bullshit.
No, but that was like, but that's
I don't
something.
know,
It's a reference in the Torah we have towards schar, is
The
it?
lead references. The name
What?
is Socher, Yesh Schar, right?
Huh.
Let's keep going. But it's good. I want people to think. It's good. These are good things to think about. It's better things to think about than a lot of things we think about. It's better things. What does it mean schar? What does it mean gift? What does it mean? What is it? Always go back to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Don't leave him out of this. These are important things to think about. You don't have to always think about sins and stuff, and bad stuff. Think about happy, positive things. We're going to leave this on. We'll come back to this. So once a person has the right perspective and the right motivation that he's serving Kadosh Baruch Hu out of Hodah, Now he's in the world of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. He's not in a selfish world. He's in the world of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And now you can truly trust that he will pay you back. He'll pay you. He'll give you gifts, whatever it is. I did that purposely because I wanted to just throw everything. I don't want to get back to that second. He'll take care of you. He'll take care of you. You okay with that? Let's keep going for a second. We did say, I'll just point out, 2 weeks ago, we did point out that the Chavos used the words, Lo l'sikvas gemu. Don't hope. Don't hope in the future reward. Kavi Hashem, chazak b'ametz kavi Hashem. That's one of the biggest, we have to hope. So how could the Chavos say not hope? Again, the obvious answer is because it's a different type of hope. Kavi Hashem, chazak b'ametz kavi Hashem. True hope is a hoping in a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Not hoping in, I did this, I hope that the boss has enough money to pay me back. David HaMelech is the Baal Bitachon extraordinaire. Kavi Hashem, how do you know, and I asked this 2 weeks ago, how do you know, this is the trick of the Yetzer Hara. We ended this with 2 weeks ago, remember. This is one of the biggest tricks. Hoping is a good thing. Kavi Hashem. Chazak is Kavi Hashem. How can you say hope is bad? How do you know when your hope is real hope and when your hope was truly it was a subtle expectation? How do you know the difference when you're hoping for something or when you're hoping, it's not really hoping, it's really you're expecting something in the future? How do you know?
If you don't get it, you won't be disappointed.
If you don't get it,
That word.
or you're not getting it, are you bothered? Are you worried? Let's not say worried. Where is this deep? If you're upset, you're bothered. If you're upset, you're bothered. That's not true hope. That's called true expectation. I expected, I didn't get. Hope is something, it's infinite. I hope. And if I don't get what I hope, chazak v'ametz kavel Hashem. Don't be sad. Chazak, strengthen yourself and hope again. Because stam a person, hope could turn into expectation very easily. And you become bothered. So David says, no. That's not hoping. Chazak v'ametz kavel Hashem. If it's something emisdik that you believe is the true thing to hope for, then strengthen yourself and hope again. That doesn't mean you're going to get it or not. Hoping in a Kadosh Baruch Hu is a tremendous avoda in Emunah Bitachon. Bitachon doesn't say you're going to get the thing that you want. At least not in Chovos Vos' world. That's never, ever true in his world. That's a dangerous world. To hope in a way of expectation, because I did this, and if I trust in you enough, I'll get that thing. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, not today. So wait, that's it? My Bitachon's out the window. Hoping is pure. Why would I hope in a Kadosh Baruch Hu? Because I believe that he's the one who runs everything, and he could do it if he wants to, and he'll do it if it's in my best interests. So therefore I hope in that. Hoping is connected to Bitachon. Right, what's Bitachon? I'm calm because I trust that the Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. He runs it for my best. Nobody could stop him if he wants to do something. Right? And he'll do for me more than even I think that I could possibly deserve. We have to work on that one. People get very depressed. I don't deserve because I did bad.
That statement again, the last one, the sentence about deserve.
The seventh, I think it's the seventh condition to trusting in the Kadosh Baruch Hu, to be able to fully give over.
Okay, no, but you said about deserve.
That a person has to trust in the Kadosh Baruch Hu that he will do for us even more than we think we deserve. He will always do more than I even know. So I don't have to know. That's what we're talking about. I don't have to know. This is Bitachon 101. We're just going back and we're digging in deep and deep because we have to.
Very comforting, that seventh one.
It's one of the most comforting, especially now. We don't even realize how unfortunate we are, the way that we beat ourselves down. We have a very low self-confidence as a nation and as people. It comes from a lack of bitachon. That's what it is. we don't trust that a Kadosh Baruch Hu will do for us more than we think that we deserve. And therefore, a person could walk around with.
He gives us more than we probably deserve.
He does, of course he does, but we don't always believe that we're worthy of that.
No, but you don't have to believe that you're worthy. That's the whole.
You don't have to, right? You don't have to believe it. You have
It's
to.
a good thing that you should.
You have to work from bottom up. Okay, let's keep going. We're going. These are your sodas. We're coming around. I mean, it's been a few weeks. We're getting back into things. So far, so good. Does anybody even know where we're holding? Holding up Kadosh Baruch Hu's hands. That's what we're holding. Weiter. So he brings a rise. He says, Kemosha Amar Rabosenu, Zichron Levracha, famous Mishnah, right? Third Mishnah, Perkei Avos. Al tiyu ka'avodim hameshamshim es harav amanas l'kabel pras, elo hevu ka'avodim hameshamshim es harav shalom amanas l'kabel pras, vihi morish shemayim aleichem. As our rabbis of blessed memory said, do not be like servants who serve their master so they can receive a reward. Rather, be like servants who serve their master without any intention of getting any reward. And the fear of heaven shall be upon you. So you see, serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu, not with any thoughts of getting a reward. I'll ask you a question. Could the Mishnah have said, Al tiyu kavod misham shenesarav amanas l'kabel pras? Don't be like a servant who serves to get a prize. Okay. What's the understanding? The opposite. Right? The Mishnah says, it's a redundant statement. Do not be like servants who serve their master so they can receive a reward. Rather, be like servants who serve their master without any intention of getting a reward. Well, wouldn't I have known that from the first statement? Right? It's not like where Gemara gets really bothered. Why'd you have that extra statement? No? What do you think? What's the diuk? Do not be like servants who serve their masters so they can receive reward. But what could you be? But you could be a servant who served his master.
Because he loves him. Trust him.
The diuk of this. Don't be like a servant who serves his master so they can receive a reward. Right? Your kavanah shouldn't be, I'm serving you, master, in order that I receive. But you could have a person who serves his master not motivated. I'm not serving you so I get a reward, but I know that your rules are that if I serve you, that you'll pay me. My motivation isn't I'm serving you so I get a reward. That's very low level. Don't do that. But maybe you could have a person, and maybe this would be appropriate. You could serve this master because he's the master, you like him. But in the back of your head, you know that he's going to pay me for what I did. Would that be lishma or lo lishma? Still lishma, still lo lishma.
The second one?
It's still lo lishma. I'm serving him in the back of the mind. What?
It's because it's the expectation.
There's expectation. I'm serving him. He's my master. I'm not serving him because I just want to get. I'm serving him because he's a good guy. He's a good guy. This master's a good guy. I'm happy to serve him. But in the back of my head, I know that he's going to pay me for what I do. So therefore, again, it's selfishly motivated. It's connected to the self. I'm doing, and therefore there's this expectation. So the Mishnah says, no, you can't do that at all. That's what the Mishnah says, because you could have made that deal. Rather, be like servants who serve their master without any intention of getting any reward. You have to be like a servant who serves his master. The true master is someone who you owe your life to. We're talking about a servant here. We're talking about a slave here who clearly is getting a place to live. He's getting food from this master, right? The servant already owes the master. That's what we were saying before. The true servant is someone who serves without any hope of any payment, any reward at all, because the king doesn't owe you anything. You owe him. The second you wake up in the morning, where did the servant wake up? He woke up in some place that the king gave him. Even if it's a basic straw bed. The king gave it to him. So he has to serve out of that. He already got paid. Without any intention. What?
The translation is making a deal that's not in the the others. Because without any intention, that's not shelo almanat. You have almanat on condition, and then shelo almanat. But what they're doing is over here, the master so that they can receive a reward, and then he's translating without any intention of getting any reward.
But the point is, it still can make, even without that.
You understand what I'm saying here, right?
Yeah, but still, it's in the mission itself. It's still a redundant statement.
Correct.
So we still need to explain.
Yes.
So you still could say what we're saying, even without that extra translation.
Right.
What does it mean, serve him not to get a reward? So that's what the mission says. Serve him not to get a reward. I mean, get out of your mind, because it's not a reward. You could, in a certain way, you could say it's not a reward. Really, everything's a gift. Schar is dependent on our perception. Your breath right now, is that a schar or is that a gift? So if you're a holy messenger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything in life's a gift. If you're totally bottom of to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, knowing that He gives you everything, so then everything's a gift. Kol neshima v'neshima t'halakal praise Him, because He gave you a gift. But the second you have any self in there, and we're humans, we're going to have it, of course, then things are now rewards, payments for actions. Right? The whole world of schar is a lo lishma. Schar mitzvah b'hai amaleka. There shouldn't be any schar. The right way to live life is that there's no schar at all. Everything's a gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm just happy to serve Him. I mean, the fact that He gave me life 10 years ago, I'm still paying that off. I'm still paying off that He gave me already 10 years ago. The second I was born, right, we said you wake up in the morning, you owe HaKadosh Baruch Hu 24 hours of service. The truth is, the second you were born, you owe Him 120 years of service. True or not true? Sure. So is there schar in this world or there's not? It's dependent on what you think. If you think of yourself at all, there's schar. There's ownership. If you're a Baal Bitachon, and we have to work towards that, there's no schar. Everything's a gift. Everything's the kindness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You could trust Him even when things are dark and bleak. You have the wherewithal to say, I could fully trust. But when things are schar, it's payment, so then you start having questions. Why are you doing that to me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu? But didn't I pay you enough? Right? Why didn't I get that thing? Am I not a good person? That's what goes on. Because you live in the world of schar. Schar is a world of emunah. There is a world, and it's not sheker. Schar onish is ani mam and be'unush that there's schar and there's onish. It's in the world of emunah, no problem. But if you want to live the high life, if you want to live the life of menuchas hanefesh, yeah, I said that. It's bitachon, and in bitachon there's no schar onish. Bitachon, everything is chasdei Hashem. Everything is perfect the way it's supposed to be. I'm so thankful. Not just thankful, I'm makir the tov. Anything that looks bad, it's to help build me. There's a tachas hatov for everything. Right? Imagine walking through life like that. David says, Amar David bazeh ulecha Hashem chased ki ata tishar ish k'masei. About this reward, King David says, and you, Lord, have kindness, for you repay a man according to his deeds. Kadosh Baruch Hu's kindness, He doesn't have to pay anybody for anything. But the Chazdei Hashem is so unbelievable. Because a person, a normal human being, it's very difficult to live every single life as a gift. Right? We're working on that now. That's very hard. People live in the world of schar and onesh. They live in that world. Now, according to Kadosh Baruch Hu, He doesn't even have to have a world of schar and onesh. It's a chesed of a Kadosh Baruch Hu that He even lets us think that we could serve Him and we could get something back in return. But that's ultimately, it's a low lishma level. The ultimate level is every second is perfect. It's the ultimate level. But we have to at least know that that exists. It's a great life, no? There's no bad feelings in that life. Again, high levels, true, but we can work towards that slowly but surely. Right? The work is not upon you to finish. To become mamish perfect? No. But you're not a ben choron to just say, well, it's too much, I can't do this at all. Anybody, and I've spoken to many people here who've been working on this, and I've spoken to many people, I get emails. Anybody who's truly working on the Sugi Bitachon doesn't make their life perfect, but it makes parts of their life that they're utilizing this, that once were dark, light. And it doesn't mean they got what they originally wanted and expected. What they got was tranquility. Because they got a Kodesh Baruch Hu. You understand? That's a good element. That's Anila Dodi V'Dodi Li. My beloved, who I trust so much, who I love so much, who gives me everything. Anila Dodi V'Dodi Li. Should be Dodi Li V'Ani Li, right? Should be the other way around. Anila Dodi, I'm to my beloved, I'm to Kadosh Baruch Hu to me. No, it should be the other way around. The answer is no. We have to make the first move because He already gave us. He's already given us. So now I have to make the first move. So in this month of Elul, let's make the first move. Anila Dodi, and then we'll see the revelation of a Dodi Li.